this is Subject 17, bringing you something completely different today. I am joined by a very special guest indeed. He's taken time out of his busy filming schedule to talk with me today, so I will waste no time in introducing Assassin's Creed Revelations' one and only Altaïr. This is Mr. Cas Anvar.
Hello, Angie. Welcome from Constantinople.
Oh my god, dude, that was awesome. Thanks. Oh dear. Welcome to this, and thank you so much for taking the time on this. So we'll just get straight into the questions.
You got it.
So you are the voice of Altaïr in Assassin's Creed Revelations. How did you get the role, or rather, what was the audition process like for you?
Kind of an interesting process. It's different in some ways than if you go for a film or a television role. A lot of times these big games, they're extremely secretive. I'm a little bit at a loss as to why, but the larger games, you get an audition piece, you get a piece of paper with some lines on it, you get some random name associated with the lines that has nothing to do with the game or the character that you're auditioning for. And in many cases, you don't even know the name of the game. They give a code name, like a secret name, and nobody except the casting director knows what the real game is, and you don't find out what the game is until you're on set. So you'll go and you're like, I auditioned for some game, let's say it was codenamed Angel Heart, and then I get on set and it's Halo or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And you don't know until like the very last minute, so it's pretty exciting in that way. And it's really top secret stuff. It's like, you know, national security or something.
Wow.
So you audition, and I went in, I auditioned for this game, and I had a bunch of lines that had to do with some guy being really angry, and I think I was playing a villain. I think I was playing the Black Knight that kidnaps Al-Mualim, that gets squished by Altaïr. And no, come on, let's admit it. The Black Knight with the helmet.
He's the Crusader.
But the way he dies is so bizarre. He's all wavy and wishy. Like, I've never seen any character die the way he doesn't even fall down. He's kind of sitting up when he dies. And the voice of that character is played by one of my best friends in Los Angeles, Michael Bannier. So I like to tease him a lot because we go out for all the same roles. So I told him that I enjoyed squishing him in the scene. But then, so I auditioned for that, and then weeks later, and while you're auditioning, there's a camera on, and they're videotaping your face.
Yeah.
And they want you to act. So you're not just doing your voice, because voice acting is a little bit different. You have to really focus on your voice. You have to figure out, they call it a voice print, and you have to figure out what is your character's voice and then maintain it. You can't just be yourself. You have to actually have a voice. I mean, as you know, the voices in a game are really important to the generating the universe and the world for the player to enjoy.
Yeah. And
you also have to now memorize your lines and act on camera at the same time as doing all of that. So it's quite a stressful process.
Wow.
Really? And then weeks later, you find out, oh, you got the role of Altaïr, and I went, what? Who? And I hadn't been familiar with the Assassin's Creed franchise at that point. So then I go and I Google it, look it up, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I just scored?
Yeah, he's huge.
So it was an interesting process. It was exciting.
Yeah. And so I was going to say, or ask actually, if you'd ever played any of the Assassin's Creed games before you got the part, and
no, I had not. I mean, I had heard of Assassin's Creed, obviously. I'd heard of all the big, I'd played Halo. I had watched people playing Call of Duty. I have Modern Warfare. I'd been familiar with all the big games, but and I used to play a lot of other games before I became like heavily entrenched in my acting work. But then it kind of trailed off, and I just became more of an observer. And I would go into game shops, and I just like play 10 minutes on the little demo game or something like that, just to kind of like keep up. And the graphics were constantly getting more and more incredible, and the actor inside me was starting to freak out because it's like, oh my God, they're not going to need me soon.
So, I mean, obviously, you have actually played some Assassin's Creed games now, haven't you? Revelations, I believe you've played it.
Yeah, no, I definitely played Revelations. I had to, because you know why? Is that in addition to the fact that I was really excited to play the game, there was no way for me to actually look at the work that I had done. I
Yeah.
wanted to see my Altair work, and if you played Revelations, you know you can't. There's no section of the game where you can go and just play all the cutscenes in a row. You have to play the game and beat the game
Yeah.
to see all the scenes.
So, what was it like for you to play Altair's memories and then hear your own voice coming back at you?
It was really actually pretty cool. At first, I recognized it, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And they had really done a good edit and a good sound job on it, so it sounded really good. And I was really excited because after a couple of minutes, I stopped hearing myself. And because I had done it months and like maybe 6 months earlier, 8 months earlier, so it'd been so long I had forgotten all the work I'd done.
Yeah.
So it was really new to me. And because of we had worked really hard on the character and on the voice. I'd come in actually several times to change the voice print. Like I had done the voice print once, and it went to Ubisoft, and they had big notes, and then we came back and redid the voice print again. So they were really specific about exactly what they wanted their biggest hero to sound like, and this direction was not right, and we want to go in this direction. So we really tweaked the voice.
Yeah.
So so much work had been done that by the time I was hearing it, I actually didn't recognize myself because I got lost in the character.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, especially as he ages. That really goes away from my normal speaking voice. So I kind of got into it. I kind of forgot it was me and just got into the character and was going crazy with my putting blades in people's heads.
Well, it's easy to do that with Altair. I mean, he's just such a badass. And, you know, he's just the ultimate, isn't he? He's just wonderful. What was your most memorable scene when you voiced Altair?
I think there's a couple. Certainly, as he gets older and he's married and he has his kids, like the scene where he's talking about with Maria, he's talking about the death of his son.
Yeah.
That Abbas has assassinated. You actually get to see Altair get mad, and you never really get to see that kind of passion from him. Ezio is a little more of the hot-blooded hothead.
Yeah.
Altair's always calm, cool, collected, kind of a James Bond in the Assassin. So that was really kind of fun to actually get to play this father whose son had been literally executed because of him. And the rage and the desire for vengeance, and you get to see the man. You don't just get to see the legend there. You get to see a man who's been hurt.
Yeah.
And his wife calming him down, and like what a great character she was. My God, like the wife of this legend that had so much strength. Like she's the one who kind of guided him into confronting a boss. It was just a really good story, really good character work, which was impressive. And then at the end, his goodbye scene to his son was pretty sad, I have to say.
Yeah, I think I warmed to Altair a little bit more in Revelations than what I did in the previous games. I just couldn't warm to him, and then I read the novel as well, The Secret Crusade, and wow, that just completely opened me to Altair as a man, you know, as well as just an assassin. And yeah, he's a really deep character.
No, he is, and I mean, there's not tons of text in Revelations, but what is there is significant enough to really, first of all, you see a huge difference between Ezio and Altair, which I love.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you get these two amazing characters that you get to play, and they're so vastly different. They have such rich, deep histories and storylines and personalities.
Yeah.
And you get to play both of them in this game. I just think that's amazing.
Yeah. Did you ever like tweak the script, as in like, you know, add in any of your own words? I don't know, like, you know, oh, I am Altair, now fetch me a burger or something. Did you?
Hey, were you there listening in? I'm like, Where'd you get that? Well, certainly, I definitely put my input into the script. Sometimes because they were doing it as a Middle Eastern character this time around, and they tried to write the Middle Eastern flavor accent into the lines, and sometimes it wasn't appropriate. They'd make him sound very American or very modern, and so I'd have to reword it, rephrase it.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I said anything crazy like fetch me some fries and a Coke. I don't know. Anything? Oh, I don't think so. No, they were I have to say, the creative people at Ubisoft were really inspiring and amazing to work with.
Yeah.
Darby McDermott was my director on that, and they really had a grasp of character and story, and they really respected the actor and let me do my input and let me do a couple of different takes on the character because there was so much emotion in this character. You know, it's not just it wasn't just like a typical video game thing where you're just going, oh, ah, ooh, ah. You know what I mean? It's like, there's like a scene where I had to literally take my wife who's been stabbed, catching her in my arms, lowering her to the ground, watching her die as I'm talking to her. And that's a very emotional scene. And so they gave me the freedom to really explore that.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty interesting because of the motion capture helmet that we have on. I can literally move around and do whatever I want, and it follows me. So I can act out the whole scene.
Yeah. That actually does lead me on quite well to the next question, actually, because I was going to ask if there are any scenes that are particularly emotional for you.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it must be the Maria scene when she dies.
The death of Maria, that was really, really substantial emotionally. I had to really, work on that. The riding away, where he's riding away on horseback after she's dead, and he just mumbles her name or something, because he's just left her on the ground.
Yeah.
He had to escape with his son. Maria. My love. And then the nightmare scene at the end, when he's walking down the hallway into the, I don't know what you want to call it, the library or the safety tomb, and he's lighting or extinguishing all the candles, and he's hearing these voices. And there's a couple of voices where Maria is talking and then he's talking, and he's you can tell he's being possessed by the power of the apple.
Yeah. And
he's losing his mind a little bit, and then the last voice that you hear is him screaming for his wife. Where is she? Where is she? And that's so sad. That was very emotional.
You're gonna make me cry.
Oh. You know what? I have a gamer friend of mine. I don't know if you know her. Her handle online, she does some stuff, is Miss Philly Lopez. She said that she was crying a single tear when she got to the end of the Revelations storyline and had to see how it all wrapped up. It was very emotional. A lot of people got really emotional by how it ended.
Yeah, easy to do. They did such a fabulous job. I mean, yeah, I got to admit, I did shed a tear or two myself. And you're actually also trained in combat styles such as sword fighting. So at any time while you were voicing Altaïr, did you ever get the urge to run around and stab things and be totally badass, even though there's no camera filming you?
Absolutely. Well, there is a camera filming me. And,
well, yeah, your face.
Often they want. I had about 50 pages of dialogue. It's very complicated the way it's all laid out, because you have the lines of the other actor, you have the action that's going on screen, and you have your little lines of dialogue that go in between the scene descriptions. And then I had about 25 pages of sounds. When you're playing the game and your character jumps and he lands and you hear him land and go, oh! And he gets stabbed and it's like, oh! There's 15-20 pages of those different types of sounds that have to be made, and they want sounds for all different occasions, and they want 5 or 6 different versions of every sound. And so when I'm doing that, they're describing, okay, here you're taking a crushing blow from behind, here you're being slashed. Here you're attacking and stabbing. And so in order to make it sound real, I'd be going through all the movements so that I'm not faking it. So sometimes I'd even punch myself, like just to get a little bit of like a being winded sound.
Yeah.
I kind of just kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? So I really, I hope you guys appreciate, I beat myself up for the role. I told myself.
I can imagine myself in a recording studio with you now, and I'd be beating you up just to make you go, ooh, ah.
After having seen your videos, I wouldn't let you into a recording studio with me. Because it's gonna scare me.
What do you like best about Altaïr as a character?
That's a great question. Altaïr is very unique compared to so many heroes. I mean, if you look at all the amazing video game characters, the heroes in these video games, they're all like badass, kind of butt-kicking characters that are arrogant and swaggery, and they have a lot of color and personality, and you know, they sneer and they snarl and they laugh at the villain, and they just, there's a lot of like, and I don't mean this in any kind of a condescending way, but a very American style of hero. Even Ezio, he's like a charming, charismatic, badass kind of hero.
Yeah.
You know, very fun, has a little sense of humor, ladies' man, and all that. Altaïr, his personality is so different from those. He comes at it from a point of purity.
Yeah.
He is the guy that founded this entire movement. He was so passionate and so pure. He had a mission to accomplish, and nothing was going to knock him off that mission. And if you watch, and he's the one who got contacted by these special creatures. He had all of this stuff happen to him that is so far above and beyond what normal people have to deal with. He was kind of an enlightened spiritual character. He really was a spiritual character.
Yeah.
And it's not a typical hero. Everything he did had a purpose. He never, with the exception of that one little moment where his son was killed, he never did anything out of rage or anger. It was always for justice. It was always to, you know, when he was going back into the camp, Abbas had like kind of destroyed Masyaf, and everything was like corrupted. And he's talking to a couple of his followers saying, what's happened here, and has anybody here harmed an innocent? And they said, yeah, unfortunately there have been. And he's very, very, very calm, and he goes, then they shall die because they have abandoned the order. Yeah. That's a non-typical type of an approach to a hero.
Yeah.
Love that about Altaïr. His purity, his focus, and his vision for something greater.
What was the hardest part about voicing Altaïr?
I had to age this guy from 30 to 90. So I'm not a 90-year-old hardened assassin warrior. So and not only that, I had to find a journey for him vocally that kept him strong, heroic, but also made him older.
Yeah.
And it's not that obvious. We went through a couple of different voices. This is some of the I guess the fun of working in something like this in a creative way. Myself and the director and the Ubisoft people, everyone was contributing to finding the right voice for this guy. And we went through a couple of them. I put something down, I put a voice print down on tape, it gets sent off, they'd have notes to come back. They said, okay, your 30-year-old voice is great, the 80-year-old voice they're thinking is a little bit too old, we want to try this. And so we would find the perfect voice for him, and then I would really just focus on figuring out, okay, what happens to this guy as he ages vocally? What is it that he still has to be strong, he still has to be wise, but he's had 50 years down on him. What does that do? And so we just kind of decided that Altaïr, as he gets older, he doesn't lose his strength, but he just becomes but and more breathy. He's just tired of speaking. He's been talking for so long.
We went in that direction. That's awesome.
And then ultimately, that's the direction we went. But we tried different things, you know. We tried making him a little bit older and like a little more of the kind of like the typical old man. But you can't do that to your hero. He has to make his strength. So.
Yeah. If you had a real life animus, would you jump into Altaïr's life? And if so, would there be any particular part, or would you just relive the whole thing?
Hell yeah! Are you kidding me?
You just want to go around stabbing people, right?
Oh my, no, that's what I want to do. I want to go around leaping off buildings.
Yeah, jumping into haystacks, awesome.
You have to picture this actor who has never played Assassin's Creed before, breaking cellophane off his Revelations disc that he got at Christmas, popping it in the thing, and playing that first scene when you get through the introduction part and you're in, I guess it's Constantinople, or I don't know what the first scene is, what city is, and you get up on a building and you mistakenly jump the wrong direction and you're about 4 or 5 stories up and you fall down into the street and your stomach leaps into your throat.
You noob.
we not am I the only one who felt that? The graphics on the game was ridiculous. I was so yes, I would totally do that. And what particular part? I think the Crusades, where he was in his young, feisty, kind of heroic at the beginning of the game when you see those first few cutscenes.
Yeah.
That seems to be like the most exciting and dynamic part of the story for me.
Cool. So, do you play the multiplayer side of Revelations?
I don't have an internet. Well, I do have an internet connection, but I haven't figured it out on my PlayStation. So I haven't had the pleasure. I've done it with other games, like Diablo and stuff like that, but I haven't gone Assassin's Creed. And now I'm scared because I've seen you going out laying waste to millions of your fellow players, and like they don't know what's coming out. You're a dangerous, lethal weapon, Andy.
Well, thank you. You should check out my Hollow Woman videos. I did, oh my god, 14 and a half hours of gameplay, and I split it into 4 different videos. Because, you know, some people on YouTube are accused of only uploading the games that they win. And I'm not guilty of that because I just do win. And so I did this like massive marathon going from level 0 to 50, and I just wanted to see how far I could get up to level 50 before somebody beats me, and nobody did. And I'm not trying to show off there, but it's just like, yeah, nobody was able to beat me. So yeah, 84 matches in total it was, and not one single loss. That was awesome.
That's very. I think you're gonna have to be my Morpheus. You're gonna have to train me because I need to be able to do that and kick my fans' butts, because I get challenged a lot. People want to challenge Altaïr in a death match, and I've always been very clever in avoiding how to do that because I'm always afraid of meeting someone like you. Make you look bad, so you better train me so that nobody can defeat me.
I couldn't possibly do that because then you'd end up beating me, and I can't have that.
So self. It's for a greater good. Have you learned nothing?
No.
You older.
Oh, I do play for the greater good. My good. I was actually going to ask if you've got a favourite character actually in multiplayer, but if you haven't really played it, then you won't have one.
I've watched them. I've watched you play. I've seen a bunch of stuff online. I think you played the Vizier, right?
The Vizier is my favourite, yeah. I don't like him in his like original colours. As long as I can change him and make him wear all the dark colours, I think he just looks pretty badass. I really like his moves. He's just awesome.
Is it bad that I think the female assassins are pretty hot? Like, I don't know, is that a bad thing?
I guess not. But I suppose you would dress them so they're not wearing any trousers and you can see their underwear.
Well, you know, I think it's more, I don't know if I would play that character, but I certainly enjoy watching them go around.
Yeah. They kind of have made the females quite sexy, I think. You know, the way they walk, and it's like the guys will all be looking at their asses, you know.
Yeah. And then they get killed because they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So, good.
They're just watching
good
a
distraction.
Easy targets. Yeah, I was gonna say that I know that you have watched some of my videos, and I was gonna ask if you think you'd be a worthy opponent for me in deathmatch.
I think I think I'm crafty, and I think what I lack in skill, I make up for it in just sheer street-wise kind of like crafty, dirty playing. So I might give you a run for your money until you figure out how to deal with me.
Nah, you won't see me coming, mate. You wouldn't.
You're sneaky. All right, I'm getting, but there is a certain amount of benefit that you have to give me just for channeling the legend.
Yeah.
I do get that. You will be. It'll take you a little bit of time to get over your intimidation
Well,
factor.
I do have a PlayStation and an Xbox, and I don't play the PlayStation very often, so if I was to meet you online, I'm probably quite beatable on PS3 because I can't get used to
Yeah.
the damn controller.
Whoever
Because
come into my world, I will
all,
defeat you in my world.
all of the buttons are the opposite way around on the PS3. So when I go to, like, I don't know, put my lock onto somebody, I'll end up throwing a smoke bomb instead, and it's like, damn it! And so yeah, I'm not that good on the PS3, I have to admit. So yeah, you could possibly beat me there.
Sounds like.
Have you ever voiced any other characters in other video games?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been doing video games for about 2 years now. Altair was my first role, and since then I've been really fortunate because I'm a gamer, I'm a game lover, I'm a geek and a nerd and a Comic-Con fan and all that stuff. I grew up with all. And so to be able to play the lead character in Assassin's Creed was it's like a young boy's fantasy. It's like a dream.
Yeah.
And then since that, I've booked, about I think 3 or 4 other games. I've got a supporting voice in Halo 4 that's coming out, which I loved. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I've got another one that's a new game that no one's ever heard of I think it's called the Fall of Nations or Decay of Nations, maybe.
Oh, I've not heard of it.
It's a really cool concept. I don't know when it's coming out. And then I'm in probably one of the biggest games, which I can't really talk about. One of the biggest games in the world. So I've had some really good experiences, and all of these things are coming out this fall. Once they're released, then I can talk more about them.
Okay, I'll come back and interview you on that later on.
You better.
Right? Oh, cool! Yeah, awesome.
And by then I'm gonna be able to kick your butt.
I doubt it.
You are cocky. Someone's got to bring you down.
Yeah, no, I am beatable. Some of my friends in my friends list, I'm actually scared to go up against because they are really good.
Oh, they're like what? They're like 11 years old.
Probably. Actually, there is somebody in my friends list. I think he's 14, and Jesus Christ, he gives me a run for my money. He really does. So I tend to only play in team matches with him because then I don't feel so bad. But
friend, I got my revelation. I had a friend of mine bring her son to my house from Canada. He's this 15-year-old kid who's played all of the Assassin's Creed game. He hadn't played Revelations yet, and I had been playing the game for a couple of weeks. I played like a few hours a day, just slowly advancing to see all my scenes. And he came over, the little bugger, and finished the game in 4 hours.
Whoa.
And he did it like as if he wasn't even paying attention to the screen. He was just like he was barely doing it with one hand.
Wow.
And we're all buzzing around him, having meetings and listening to music and cooking food stuff. And every time I glance at him, there's another cutscene going up. And this young 15-year-old kid just blasted through, collecting all of the different pages and all the different side missions and owning all these banks and monuments and raising all this money. And finished it. And I was so angry. I was very upset.
Wow.
But it really made me look bad.
I couldn't possibly do it in 4 hours because I'm too much of an explorer. I really love to go. Because like you said, the graphics are just astounding, and I just really like to take my time, explore everything that's around. So no, 4 hours for me. No, I couldn't do that.
I mean, if you're gonna do Assassin's Creed, these guys back in Ubisoft took so much time to research ancient Constantinople and Baghdad and
Yeah,
all the cities. They're all based on historical reports and documents and maps, and it really does resemble what actually was back there. And they put so much energy into the textures and the details and
yeah,
the environment and the sounds and everything. It'd be a shame to just blast through it. I
yeah.
totally agree. I
I
loved
I
it.
I did a podcast with some of the Ubisoft guys. I think Darby was one of them, and
Oh yeah,
you know they
he's
did.
such a good,
Yeah,
such a
they
good guy.
mentioned about like you know how they take thousands of photographs. They visit the cities and take all these photographs, so that you know they can actually put down the city to absolute scale, and you
Yeah.
know obviously then they go
But
back and have a look at
you
anything
fathom
historical and
as a gamer,
yeah,
this is the fans. I think they need to. I mean, obviously the kids are not going to necessarily appreciate that, but as an adult gamer, we really should appreciate the immense amount of work. It's like gaming. I've been noticing in the past few years is easily matching, and I think in the next few years it's going to surpass feature films in terms of just the creativity and the research and the energy and the money and that is going into them. Like, think about this. For a video game to be played on your TV, these guys go all over the world taking pictures so they can give an accurate representation of the city that your character is going to be running
yeah,
through. Like, how awesome is that?
it is.
As you're getting to this entire team of people off all over the world, creating a realistic environment for you to play in.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool. The work they're putting into it now, I think, is going to surpass the types of things that you see in the movies.
Yeah, I actually do want to take an Assassin's Creed inspired holiday, and first off, I really want to go and see Rome. I really do. I've never been to Italy before, but when I played
Looks
Assassin's
good.
Creed Brotherhood, I just fell in love with it, and I really want to go. And I really wouldn't mind going to Constantinople or visiting like Galata and places like that because I really love that map in the multiplayer,
Hmm.
and
Are you going to
I
climb the
would just love
tower?
to see it. Oh yeah, I'll climb that. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Hagia Tower?
okay. Yeah.
I'll meet you at the top of Hagia Tower. How do you say
No.
it anyway?
Oh no no no. What Galata? I think.
What is it?
Yeah, I think Galata. Galata Tower. And no, I'll just meet you at the bottom. You can go at the top. You do your leap of faith, and I'll just wait at the bottom with a shovel.
I'll be hook blading my way. I'll hook blade my way up there, and then I'll meet you.
Now, I happen to know that you are just a little bit of a gaming fan anyway, so what was the first game you ever played and on what console?
Oh my God, I can't really tell you that because it'll date me. But okay, let's just say this. I remember watching my brother, who's older than me, playing on, I don't know if you remember these mainframe dot matrix computers in universities where it was Star Trek, and it would literally, there's no screen. You would print up your screen on paper, and you'd see, and it would be like the Enterprise would be a big E, and then you'd see a Klingon would be a little K, and then punch in on the keyboard what your moves are and what you're going to do, and do you fire a photon torpedo, or do you fire a phaser, or whatever, or do you run? And you'd enter it in, and then all of a sudden the printer would be like, and it would like print up the next screen, and you'd see one move later where everybody is, and then you make your decision. And it was Star Trek. It was like a university version of Star Trek, and I was like too young to really get into it, but I remember that. This first game I ever laid hands on, again, I was a kid, but it was called Hack, and it was addictive. And it was a PC DOS game, and it was Dungeons and Dragons, and you descend into the bowels of this dungeon, fighting off monsters and getting treasure and trying to get down to the bottom where you meet the Wizard of Yendor. And the characters were all just iconic, like a giant bee for a bat, and your human character was the at sign, and you just like use the arrow keys to trace across. It was like, the graphics were like a joke, but it was so addictive, and it was so much fun. And then I think the next thing I remember getting hooked into was Diablo and StarCraft.
I've never played Diablo or Diablo, however you say it. Uh,
Yeah, Diablo was the first games that really put together a soundtrack. Like their musical soundtrack was so eerie and so scary. Like it literally gave me anxiety to play the game. I loved it.
Yeah,
And
I might try
StarCraft
it.
was awesome. I remember StarCraft Brood Wars and everything. That was like the first real kind of like really well crafted. I don't know what you call those kind of games. Like they're not sim games, but they're strategy games.
Yeah.
You know, where you're building bases and you're spawning troops and you're attacking with a mission and you're controlling massive amounts of characters and different types of ships and all that. I loved that.
I think my first ever game, I think, was on an Atari, and you had to use a cartridge and plug the cartridge in. And
It's
I
like
think it was
Pong.
in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think it was. Oh my God. I still remember the music for it as well, and it was just, it was probably light years ahead of its time, but, I
Did
suppose if you were
you
to
ever
look at it now, you think, what the hell?
did you ever did you ever play King's Quest and Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry?
No, I played Astro
This
Wars.
I think we're dating ourselves right now. You gotta be
Yeah,
careful.
shut up. Oh no, no, let's move on. What's your favorite game genre?
Fantasy. I like story games. A couple of first-person shooters that I'll try them out, but I love the fantasy story games, like Assassin's Creed, Fable,
Oh, I love
eh,
Fable.
Dungeons and Dragons, Zelda,
Oh,
um,
Zelda. Wow.
all those kind of like epic, mythic kind of stories where you're on an adventure. That's
Yeah,
that's the geek in me that I like that. I'm not hugely addicted to the shoot 'em blast 'em up games. I
yeah.
like story games.
Yeah, I like a really good story, I have to admit. Fable, oh my God, yeah, that's awesome. And really funny as well sometimes. Yeah, I love
Well,
Fable. I really wish that they would bring Zelda to Xbox. I played it on the Wii, but I'd really love to have it for Xbox. That was a brilliant game.
I know.
What's your top three favourite games of all time so far?
Top three favorite games. Um, Diablo, King's Quest really captivated me. King's Quest, Space Quest, it's a series of them. They're all from the same maker. King's Quest Sierra, Space Quest, and Leisure Suit Larry, who was he was a slimy little lounge lizard kind of Las Vegas kind of guy going on adventures. That whole series of them were hilarious. And obviously Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed really blew everything out of the water for me. It was a
Yeah.
completely different genre, a different scope of games. So
Yeah, it really is in a league of its own, isn't it?
yeah.
So, you're also a bit of a comic book collector. So, tell me a little
Yeah.
about your awesome vintage collection that I just so happen to know that you have, because my binoculars are that good.
I'm guilty of that. I've been collecting since I was a little kid. My mom used to bring me comic books. She was a doctor. She'd go to her practice, and every day she'd come back, and I would wait eagerly for Thursdays because that's when they got their shipment of new books, and she'd always bring me stuff. And it's kind of funny because at the very beginning, I was kind of at her discretion. She would just pick the ones that she liked best, and that's how I got introduced to whatever heroes that I ended up falling in love with. So she would buy the Iron Man or the Hulk or the Spider-Man, and then I would just get hooked, and then I would start telling her, I need Spider-Man number 110, and I need Spider-Man number 112, and she'd go out and she'd pick them up for me because I didn't have any money.
Oh,
And then one day, I was walking home from school, and I went to the secondhand bookstore in Montreal. And in those days, I don't know if comic books had really turned into this huge phenomenon that eventually did once the Batman movie came out. The first Batman movie really transformed everything. And I went in, and somebody had just brought their collection in. And I went in, I saw this entire series of X-Men. And I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. And I saw all these sequential, beautiful condition comics, and there were like these gorgeous kind of brightly colored covers smiling at me. And I just said, oh, look. And I picked from number 94 up because know if you know anything about X-Men, but X-Men 94 is where the old X-Men turn into the new X-Men. It's the huge transformation. If you find a mint copy of 94 X-Men, you can sell it for like $10,000.
Whoa.
It's a really valuable comic, especially the giant size X-Men #1, which kind of goes hand in hand with it. And I picked that because I didn't like the artwork in the older ones, because it was a completely different art team. And those older ones were Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby and all these great artists, and I was just being a stupid kid. And anyways, so I started my X-Men collection at that point, and I paid for the entire thing. I paid like about $2.50 for about 50 comics. I started and those things are now worth thousands of dollars, because I had no idea. They're in great shape, and that started my collection. I kept them in bread bags up in my attic. Didn't know what I was doing. Thank God I had the instinct to just try and take some good care of them, so they're still in really good condition.
Yeah.
But I've got a huge collection. I've got like probably about 20,000 books, all the superheroes, Marvel, DC, Image, a lot of independent titles. Huge fan.
I want to know about your Star Trek T-shirts as well.
I don't have many of them. I have one really cool one which I got on Paramount Lot, and I haven't been able to find it. I haven't worn it. I think I've worn it once, and I've never washed it. And I got it ages ago when I was taking a Universal tour, a Paramount tour. And I haven't been able to see that particular T-shirt anywhere else. Nobody owns it. I can't find it online. I think it's a unique one. It's got all the heroes. It's got Spock and McCoy and Kirk in an airbrushed painting with the Enterprise in the background and the planet. And it's really, really cool. I haven't seen it before.
Yeah, Spock's actually got 3 ears. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, he's got a left ear, a right ear, and a final frontier.
That was the final frontier. I got it.
God, that was terrible.
Better watch your back now, girl, because I'm coming for you. Right. For that one?
Oh dear. I want to touch on some other roles that you've played, because you've got quite an impressive resume. Now, you've starred in series such as like Boston Legal, NCIS 24 and Lost. And tell me a little bit about your experiences there. Like, what was it like working alongside legends like William Shatner and, Kiefer Sutherland?
Captain Kirk. I worked with Captain Kirk.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Cool. You know what's amazing about Captain Kirk, about William Shatner? He's a Montreal boy. That's where I grew up. He's a Canadian boy. We went to the same school, so that was kind of cool.
Did not know that.
So he's an extremely interesting, funny guy. Like, that's the one thing most people don't know about Bill Shatner. He's hilarious. He's an eccentric, funny, witty guy. And when I first met him, he was a little bit distracted. He had a lot of stuff going on. And as soon as he found out I was a Canadian actor from Montreal, he was like, "Oh, really?" And all of a sudden, boom, he gave me his focus. And then I told him that I'm a Shakespearean actor, and I worked with these two great Shakespearean classical actors that kind of founded theater in Canada. Douglas Campbell, who recently passed away, and Jean-Louis Roux, both whom William Shatner worked with in Canada at the Stratford Festival doing Shakespeare, because William Shatner is a big Shakespearean actor. Once he found out that I came from that world, he gave me all his focus and started telling me all his little stories and asking me, "Do you know this person? Do you know this person?" That was like a huge thrill for me, having William Shatner like grilling me on theater and film and Canadian culture and all that. That was a lot of fun. Candice Bergen was awesome. She's a really sweet, lovely actor. James Spader didn't really talk to me. He kind of just sat in the chair, ignored me.
Really? Oh, how rude.
Kiefer Sutherland, awesome. Canadian boy from Saskatchewan, where I was born. He's awesome.
I had a big crush on him when I was a little girl.
He lived in Montreal. I can understand that. He's a tough, heroic guy. But that guy, he knows how to run his show. He's like a military general. When he comes on set, he walks in, he gets everyone together, we rehearse the scene, bang, 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 we run the lines, he makes changes to the script on the fly, takes us into a rehearsal, and basically just single-handedly acting the lead and controlling what's going on and making sure the director and everyone's on track. It was like a real dance to watch him work. He really, really did run that show. It was quite formidable.
So you've been in some other great movies as well. So tell us more about those.
Like the one I'm shooting right now. Currently, I'm filming a film called Diana, starring Naomi Watts and Naveen Andrews, which is a very lovely story about. It's a very beautiful story about Princess Diana and the last few months of her life. I can't go into the details, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing Dodi Al-Fayed. I think people who are fans of that are going to really appreciate what this story has to say.
Yeah.
So it will be a lot of fun, and I'm having a great time shooting it, and the cast and the director, Oliver Hirschbiegel, awesome, Oscar-nominated director, awesome. So I think you're all gonna love that.
Yeah, you have got that Dodie look about you, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I've actually been privileged enough to see some of like the pictures from like the movie at the moment, and wow, you look great as Dodie, you really do.
They did a great job on all of that kind of historical accuracy stuff. There's a
Mm.
lot of energy put into that because they really want to honor the story. So
Yeah.
a lot of effort has gone into that.
Yeah, I can imagine that's going to be one very, very big film when it comes out. I will definitely be watching it,
I
definitely.
can't wait. I can't wait. Really excited. I mean, I've done Source Code,
Yes, that
which
was,
is a huge thrill with Jake Gyllenhaal, directed by
yeah,
Duncan Jones.
that was inspired by Assassin's Creed, you know, that film.
I didn't know that. How so?
Yeah.
Because of the Animus?
Yes, because of the Animus. Yeah.
So cool. I had no idea. I met the writer, and I know one of the writers that worked on it, and that was never mentioned. But as soon as you say that, I would go, "Oh yeah, you're totally right. It's a
Yeah.
computer-generated world to go back and relive memories." So absolutely, you're right.
Yeah, I watched an interview with Jake Gyllenhaal. He was plugging the movie,
Yeah.
and he did actually mention that it was inspired by a popular video game because obviously he
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to say what it was because of like advertising reasons. And yeah, I totally got it. And as soon as I heard that interview, I thought I've got to go and watch that film.
That's so cool. I mean, I spent a lot of time with him on set, and I didn't. I never got that story. So that's really cool, actually, to hear that.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. It's
Um,
the animus thing. I love it, but you only get to go and like relive the last 8 minutes of somebody's
yeah.
life.
I did Neverland, the big prequel to Peter Pan with some
Yeah,
amazing actors, which was a gorgeous $20 million 4-hour miniseries on Sky Network
yeah,
and on Sci-Fi Channel in the States. That was a lot of fun. I got to play like a crazy, wild Italian pirate in a
yeah,
Johnny Depp style. Loved it, loved it.
yeah.
Uh,
I've seen you.
did the Phantom. I got to play the mean baddie in the Phantom. His arch nemesis from the Singh cartel. I was Ratib Singh, the homicidal sociopathic ringleader of the Phantom's enemies. Got to do Lost, the TV show, which I loved. Got to work with Naveen Andrews playing his brother. What else? Did a little bit in Transformers. Bunch of TV shows that you've already mentioned. So yeah, and there's some new movies coming out as well.
Yeah, cool. Can't wait. Now, you're also currently working on a very exciting project called Assassin's Odyssey. Now, everybody needs to know about this because it does sound awesome, and I've actually seen one of the fight scenes from it, and I was like really blown away. So tell us everything we need to know and spare no details.
Well, Assassin's Odyssey is a feature film that I'm producing and starring in, and you're gonna appreciate this because this movie script came from an event that happened from me getting the role of Altair in Assassin's Creed. And I'm writing the script with my writing partner Kurt Finney, who's also in the movie. And when I finished doing the voice work on Assassin's Creed, Darby said, "Hey, just so you know, don't freak out when it comes out. When we do our first clip, there's going to be a little bit of a backlash." And I was like, "Really? Why? Didn't I do a good job?" He goes, "No, it has nothing to do with you doing a good job. So you did a great job. It's just that gamers, they don't like change, and you are kind of taking over a role from another actor, and no matter how well you do, it doesn't matter. They're going to react. So
Yeah.
don't take it personally." personally. And I was like, wow, that put the little fear of God in me. And I was like, okay. And so I waited until E3, and the E3 presentation happened, and they showed a clip from Assassin's Creed Revelations, and I went online and I Googled Altaïr voice change, and boom, 200 postings had already gone up. And I'm looking at all these little one-liners like, who is the new voice? What's going on with the new voice? Why did you change the voice? And I click on the first one, and this little interview pops up with this little British kid. And he's like an 8-year-old kid. You don't even see his face. You can just hear him talking in it. You know that he looks like Harry Potter. And he's like going, I'm not quite sure why, but they've changed the voice of Altaïr. And at that time there was an error on my IMDb page, and they hadn't given me the credit. They had given the previous actor the credit. And he goes, you can see from the IMDb page that it's the same actor that's playing Altaïr, but he's changed his voice. And I think I'm going to call the Ubisoft people and find out why. And then he starts popping up a little video, and he shows the clip that they played at E3, and he goes, here, you can hear his voice, and it's definitely different from the previous version of Altaïr, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's different. Why is it different? And then he pops up the IMDb page, and you see my picture there, but I'm not credited with the role, and then I look down, and he's already got 3,000 hits.
Wow.
And then I look underneath, there's hundreds of comments, and there's like people screaming like, who the hell is this Cas Anvar guy? Who is this guy? I hate him. No, he's great. I like his acting. And it's like this entire conflict and controversy over the voice change. And me and my buddy Kurt are looking at this. And then I go down to the next link underneath the British boy, and there's another one almost identical. And it's an American kid. Exactly the same thing. He's like, I don't know what's going on. They changed his voice. And you can see here, and he shows the whole same audio visual, and he's like, and over here, and I don't know what to do about this, and like, I don't know, you guys like this, and this guy's got 2,000 hits. And my buddy turns to me, Kurt turns to me, and he goes, Cas, you better watch your back, man. One of these gamers hit on you. And I laughed, and then I got scared, and then I went, that sounds like a really good idea for a movie. And so that is where the idea for Assassin's Odyssey came. It was, what if this actor who voiced a really popular game in a video had a hit placed on him by this fanatical, intensely powerful group of video gamers that basically ran this secret organization that wouldn't allow any kind of change into their world, and they were willing to do anything to keep order in their world, even kill. And so this group of highly trained, highly equipped gamer assassins goes after this actor who doesn't know why they're chasing him, and he has to flee for his life running parkour style across the rooftops and finding himself getting into big martial arts style combat scenes with these people. And while this is happening, he realizes, he discovers that he has this power that he had no idea he had, that he received this power from an accident that happened in a motion capture session when he was voicing the game. And all the data, during a power surge, all the data from the game got imprinted into his subconscious. So he has all the details of the character, all the abilities, all the fighting skills, kind of like Neo from The Matrix, when he gets plugged in. He goes, I learned Kung Fu.
Oh no, you just reminded me of Chuck. Guys, I know Kung Fu.
There's a little bit of Chuck in there too. So this guy, who's this unexpected hero, he's kind of like a reluctant hero. He's on this quest to save his own life, and as he's going on, he accumulates all these really quirky, interesting people that become a member of his team. And one of them is kind of like the Morpheus character that trains him and teaches him about the people that are after him and how to defeat them. And then one of the guys is a guy who gives him equipment, and he eventually has to accept his destiny and become the hero that he doesn't want to be, and then go and take down. He realizes with his power, he's the only one that has the power to take down this group of rogue assassins that are trying to take over the world. And so there's tons of gamer references, tons of sci-fi references in this. It's a dramatic action flick, kind of like The Matrix meets Kick-Ass meets The Watchmen.
Yeah. We
have little fun, little tongue-in-cheek references for all the gamers. Like one of our characters, we call him Link because he,
Zelda.
well, he's the actor who wanted to play Zelda in the movie version of Zelda, but the movie never got made because the Mario movie was so bad that the gamer assassin horde prevented the Zelda movie from ever being made because they never wanted another Mario to be made like that again, that horrible thing. And so this guy lost his job and he never got over it, so he never stopped being this character. He lives as Link, and he's become this like road warrior, lethal weapon kind of character. He's this armor-plated hero, and he becomes the mentor to my character, the assassin actor, and kind of guides him and teaches him all he needs to know. But and he calls his girlfriend Zelda. She's like, "Stop calling me Zelda. My name's Jennifer." He can't get out of that world. He's living in that dark world because he's never let go of the fact that he never got to play that role.
Oh,
it's a funny action flick. A lot of quirky little tongue-in-cheek references, and as you saw, great butt-kicking action scenes.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that really did look fabulous. Yeah, I can't wait then because but for the combat alone, wow, those scenes look great. So I'm going to be directing people to your Facebook and your Twitter and get you some support for Assassin's Odyssey. So we can.
We've got Facebook, Twitter sites for both of those, for the Assassin's Odyssey. I think we've got over 1,000 followers on our Assassin's Odyssey Facebook page right now.
Yeah, I became one of them a couple of days ago.
Nice.
Yeah. So
you can see a lot of cool stuff on that page. Actually, we got videos of locations that we're going to be shooting in, and photos from we shot a trailer already, and the trailer is going to be ready in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So fans get to see the actual professional version of what you saw.
Yeah.
That we shot in April, and now we're editing in and doing the special effects and all of that.
Yeah. I think the scene that I saw, that was kind of like a practice run, I think, wasn't it? It was in somebody's back garden.
That was a rehearsal.
Yeah.
The guy playing my role, the guy who did all the cool fighting, his name is Mario Perez.
Yeah.
He's the stunt coordinator and my body double.
Yeah.
He makes me look like a badass.
But you make yourself look like a badass too. You play a really good baddie, you know.
Well, I do a lot of stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind playing the villain once in a while. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. When it comes to Assassin's Odyssey, I'd love to be able to interview you again on that, if that's
If you make your way to Los Angeles, I'll put you in the movie.
Oh, what? Really? Wow.
I'll make you one of the gamer assassins.
Oh, wow. Oh, that would be.
And Carl, the guy who's bringing me in, was going to be an assassin. He was going to bring his wife to LA, celebrate their anniversary while I was shooting the trailer, and he was going to be a ninja in it.
Wow.
You guys are crazy, man.
Yeah.
Gamers are crazy.
Right. We're just about at the end of this interview now, and I'm going to put something on you that you weren't expecting. So
No.
I'm going to do some quick fire questions, and you have to give me the first answer that comes to mind without thinking, right? So it's really quick.
Rorschach test, okay.
It's like, it's multiple choice though, so you'll be safe. Are you ready?
Hold on, let me take a deep... Just gonna kind of meditate for a second and get into my my mode. Okay, now I'm ready for you.
Cool. Ice cream or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Oh, mine too. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Wine or water?
Water.
Oh, you're not allowed to think.
Okay.
Assassin or Templar?
Assassin.
Ezio or Altair?
Altair.
Ah!
You! What are you doing?
I was hoping to trip you up.
Choose?
I know, it's just like, the age-old debate, Ezio or Altair. But yeah, most people do go with Altair, actually.
That's like saying apples or oranges. It's like, Ezio is like the is like the James Bond. Like Ezio's like the badass. He's like the butt-kicking, womanizing, wisecracking, like he's hilarious and he's cool. He's like the badass.
Yeah.
And Altair is the legend.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they're so different. I love playing Ezio. But I love Altair. Like, I just can't. He's the one. The one I'm emotionally connected to is Altair, and it's not just because it's because his journey is so huge.
Yeah, it is. It's a big roller coaster. Will you be playing or buying Assassin's Creed 3?
Will I be playing or buying? I'm going to be launching it in Nottingham.
Oh wow, awesome! Is that Nottingham, UK?
Yes, it is. I'm being brought in by an organization called ThatGameShop.com, and this amazing guy named Carl runs the shop with his wife, and they've kind of become fans of mine over Twitter. I don't know how they tracked me down, now that I think about it. I think they tracked me down on Twitter, found out about all my shenanigans, and asked me to come to the shop for a midnight launch of AC3 and do game signings.
Oh, awesome.
Now Ubisoft is getting involved, and I'm being brought into a big Ubisoft event happening somewhere around there, and I'm going to be sticking around end of October, November in the UK to do my various game launches, which include Halo, Assassin's Creed 3. Even though Altair is not in Assassin's Creed 3, I'm kind of there to kind of do the baton, handing off of the baton kind of thing to the new guy.
Oh, you all heard it here. Get yourselves to Nottingham for launch, and then you can meet Cas Anvar himself.
Here's the thing. If you pre-order from thatgameshot.com, I'm going to be there signing your games for you. So it'll be a great, fun experience. I'd love to see everybody out there.
Oh, I pre-ordered mine ages ago. I did it through Ubisoft. Oh, what?
Well, you know what? Bring it. You can bring it and I'll sign it, girl.
Oh, I'll have to fly like 4,000 miles, but I might just do that, you know.
Sure, that's a problem.
Okay, yeah, it is actually, because I'm terrified of flying, but yeah. I suppose I could get there on a boat or something.
I can't imagine you being scared of anything.
So, that is all we have time for. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your filming schedule to chat with me. This has been awesome. So I'm going to leave links in the video description for people to head over to your Facebook and your Twitter.
You want me to? You know what I would like to do?
What?
I'd like to give you a little Altair voice doing the credo.
Oh, go on then.
Let me just. Nothing is real. Everything is permitted.
Nothing is true.
Sorry, nothing. I won't say that. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Fail. But is there any kind of a slogan for your site? Do you have any kind of like a one-liner like that describes your channel or your stuff, like a commercially type thing?
I actually don't, but you could make one. You could say something like, "I am Altair and I fear no Templar apart from one. Her name is Subject 17."
Oh yeah. Do that. I like that. There's I am Altair and I fear no Templar. Although there is one. Subject 17. Okay. Okay. You ready?
Yeah, go on then.
My name is Altair, and I fear no Templar, save one. Subject 17. She scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh wow! Oh dude, that's awesome.
Let me do my last line.
I'm scared of Jesus. That's brilliant.
Let me do my last line. Let me do the credo.
Okay.
And remember, nothing is true, and everything is permitted.
Oh yay! Oh wow, that's excellent. Oh dear. Oh, I can't believe you did that. That's brilliant. It scares the bejesus out of me. Oh, wow. Right.
You want to play it back, make sure it didn't cack out?
It actually didn't. That was very smooth. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Happy?
Yeah, I am. I'm a very happy chick, and it's my birthday today as well, so this has been
Oh,
just a super special treat for me.
let me give you a happy birthday from Altair.
Oh, God, yeah, all right then.
Oh, come on. Your birthday. Come on.
Yeah,
You can put this at the head of the interview.
okay.
Hello, this is Altair. I just want to say a big happy birthday to Subject 17. Hopefully she makes it for plenty more.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, this really has been incredible. Thank you so much for giving so much time to me. This has just been amazing. So we are now at the end and I have to sign off, and this video will be on my channel on Machinima, and an edited version I believe will be on your website as well.
Absolutely. And
Cool.
send me all the links. I want to see them.
I will do. And right, that's it for now. Thank you very much, and thanks everyone for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.
Goodbye.